Hello, and thank you for joining me today with two separate projects using table placemats from Dollar Tree. Here you're going to see how easy it is to unravel one of these placemats. Basically, you just find where it started off, where it ends, and start pulling it apart. Some of them are harder than others. Basically, if you get stuck on one, you just cut the thread that's sewing them together and continue pulling it apart. Once you pull it all apart, you basically can do anything you want with these. There's so many different projects that you can use them for. What I'm going to be using them for today is to make an Easter basket, and also a two-tier tray for my coffee area. I'm going to be using brown placemats today. There's a few other projects that I have in mind using the green and the pink ones that are at the stores right now. These are the two hula hoops and cooking sheet racks or cookie sheet racks that they have at the Dollar Tree, with two of them in a package. I spray painted my hula hoops just because I didn't want to run the risk of the bright, designs that they have showing through the wrap of the placemats. I'm using the smaller hula hoops today, but you can use the larger ones just depending on what you're going to use it for or what size you want it. Right here, I'm going to put some E6000 and more hot glue to seal and close shut both hula hoops together right there. And then I'm going to flip it over and put more hot glue and E6000 glue right in the middle of the rack and the hula hoop to attach them together. And I cut a piece of the placemat rope to add to that area on top of it, just so it can have something to seal it once I flip it over, and so it can secure more. You're probably wondering why I didn't add more. Simply because once you start wrapping the placemat around the hula hoops and the rack, it's going to secure it more, so there's no need to add more glue but that's preference. That's just something I thought it would, I didn't need any more, but you're more than welcome to add more. I tried really hard to wrap it without cutting the placemat, but it was just so much of it. I just found it easier to cut it in sections and then wrap it around. And as I wrap it around, I just add glue every so often just to secure it, because I don't want it to unravel. And every time I completed a section of the rope, I would add glue to the top of it and get another section of the rope and wrap it around the same area. And I did that just to be secure that it wouldn't show through or pull apart at that area, at that seam. And you continue to wrap the placemat around the hula hoop, one hoop at a time. Once you get to the top of the hoop, what I'm going to do is start wrapping both hoops with the rope, or the placemat rope, to make my handle. And you can start that wherever you feel that you want your handle to start at. In just a few minutes, you'll see that, a few seconds actually, you'll see that I'm going to start gluing them together, because I kind of want a bigger handle, and plus because I want it to be more secure. I don't want to run the risk of it falling apart or anything, since I've never made one. This is basically my trial run, but I loved it when it came out, the way it came out. So here, like I said, I'm going to start wrapping both of the hoops together for security and also to start my handle. once I completed this and I started thinking, oh wow, you can use this for so many things. Initially, I wanted to make it as an Easter basket to put on my buffet counter, but after I completed it, I thought, wow, this is something I can use all year round in different areas of my home. So I'm thinking of making a few more because you can use this for towels in your restroom. You can use this for extra blankets and pillows in your living room. You can use it in the kitchen like I am as a basket or a buffet, centerpiece. There I'm just showing you how the handle looked. But again, you can use this for so many areas. I even thought, you could use this if you get the larger hula hoops, and you can use both racks that come in the package, the cooking sheet racks, and make a larger basket and put your wood for your fireplace, and that would be really cute. So there's endless possibilities of what you can use this for, but right now I'm using mine as an Easter basket decor for my kitchen. But once you make your basket, your handle as large as you want, you'll just start gluing and wrapping the placemat rope around the one hoop again until you get down to the bottom where the rack is at, and then you'll start wrapping the hoop and rack with the placemat rope like that. And you just keep doing that, and you're going to do the same process to both of them. And then once you complete that process, I'll show you how I made the sides of the basket. Again, since this was the first time me making it, I wasn't sure how I wanted, how high on the sides, I guess you could say, I wanted the basket to go. So once I decided how large the bottom part of the basket, I went ahead and did an extra part to make that size. And of course I'll show you in just a minute how I did that. But here I'm just continuing wrapping the rope from the placemats, the unraveled placemats around the hoops. Let me know if you have an idea or suggestion of how or what I can use to wrap my placemat rope around to maybe make it easier, and so I won't have to cut it in sections. I love to know. I tried to find a few other ways of doing it, but I just couldn't. This just was the easiest way for me. After seeing the picture of the basket, what kind of ideas do you guys have of what you would use something like this for all year round? I even thought this would be really cute, maybe as a baby shower gift instead of a gift bag. You know how you give gift baskets. This would really be cute. If it was a boy, make it blue. If it was a girl, wrap it with the pink placemat. So I know I'm going to be making quite a few different ones in the near future. This entire basket, it took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to make, and I used 2.5 placemats, 2 hula hoops, and 1 of the cookie sheet racks. So initially it was about $4.50 maybe to make this basket in total. And right here I'm wrapping both basket and hoop together with the rope. And this is how I start securing more of the rack to my hoops to make the basket. And once I'm done doing that, here's where I'm going to start wrapping the rope around the edges to secure more of the rack, to make it more rounded. And then once I did that, there's where I'm going to add more glue, and you can add the E6000 there to make it more secure also. I just use hot glue. But once you do this part, like I said, I decided I wanted the basket part of this basket to be up higher, so I wrapped it around both hoops to make it larger. Here's where I'm going in and out, weaving the rope between, in between, or intertwining it with the rack to go to the next hoop, and wrap it around the rack, and then I continue to do that. And in between each time I weaved the rope in the rack, I wrapped it around about 2 or 3 times before I started wrapping it again, weaving it again, and that's just to leave that space so I can weave it the opposite way to seal it and close it in to make the basket. And once you do all that and you're complete, then like I said, you wrap it around the edges, and that's how you secure the bottom, the edges of the rack, to make it more round. I always do my arts and crafts, most of them on the floor. For some reason, I end up on the floor. I have a desk and a work table and everything, but this is my favorite spot, on my bedroom floor, watching a movie and doing my crafts. Where's your favorite spot to do your crafts? Let me know in the comments below. Here, you'll see that I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to wrap it around the other hoop to start making my basket up higher. And like I said, I wrapped it around both hoops, I want to say 4 times, to make the basket larger, the sides of the basket. That's right here's where I start making the basket, and I did the same thing. I wrapped it around a few times, just to make that space between both ropes, so I can weave it in and out also on top. And don't forget to add glue every so often. So yeah, it was 4 times, and then I made X's on each one of those individual wraps. And that was just to make it easier for me to weave it in and out once I start weaving it the opposite way. And the racks that I purchased at Dollar Tree only have one wire going one way. So what I did was I wrapped the rope in between my placemat rope that I had already wrapped, I guess, diagonal, in order to do it vertical, if that makes sense. So here is where I'm going to start wrapping it, weaving it, in between each rope on the rack, and then go up and through the 4 strips of rope, extra rope that I added onto each side. And I still continue to add glue every so often. And this is where I'm showing you how I weaved in and out of the extra X's, I guess you could say, on the sides. If you made this basket, what would you use it for? Let me know. you do make this basket, and follow me on Instagram at Violet's DIY Style, and show me a picture of it. And here it is, almost completed. Our next project after this is going to be the 2-tier basket that I made for my coffee area, using 2 baskets and a rolling pin and some of my table placemats. But this is this basket all complete. And I decorated it again for Easter with Dollar Tree products as well. And this is the second project. I'm using the brown wax Waverly paint, and I'm just going to use it as a stain to stain this round wooden that I had gotten at the Dollar Tree as well in a package. I only had one, so I'm just using what I have at home. And I'm going to use this part for the bottom of the large basket to have something to glue and secure the rolling pin on. And since I only had one of the round circles, I cut a piece off of the rolling pin to use on top of the small basket to have more security, where I'm going to glue the rolling pin to the small basket. And since the small basket has the design of the weaving, I went ahead and used the placemats to weave the large basket. And this large basket was red, and I just spray painted it brown to match the smaller basket. And I weaved the placemat three rows of the large basket. But here I am still staining the rolling pin and the small little air part or section of the rolling pin that I sawed off. And you just weave it in. This large basket's pretty easy because it has the squares, so you just weave it in and out in between each square. And initially I had thought of just weaving it one row, but I had so much of the extra placemat left, I decided to go ahead and do 2 or 3 more. So I did 3 rows of the large basket. And then after that, I'm going to also add a section of this rope, a placemat rope, to my small basket. And then the handles on the small basket, I also weave it in and out of that and wrap that around it, around the handles. And since the small basket had handles, I'm going to do the same thing to the large basket. I just cut one of the little rows off of the squares on the top part, and I'm going to wrap the rope around that to make it look like handles also, to match the small basket. Some of my footage is missing or deleted. I just couldn't figure out where I recorded it, so it's going to cut off towards the end of this project. So I'm just going to explain to you what I did after I wrapped the placemat around the small basket. What I did was, with the round piece of wood that I had, I glued it to the bottom of the large basket with E6000 and hot glue, and then I glued the rolling pin on top of the large basket, if that makes sense, to the round circle. Set that aside and let it dry, and then I cut a little hole in the small basket, just a small one, just so some of the wood of the rolling pin could come up, and I put E6000 and hot glue on that top of the rolling pin, and I glued the smaller basket on top of that, and then the small little circle or piece of wood that I cut off or sawed off of the rolling pin, I glued it to the bottom of the small basket to make the top of the two-tier tray. If that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense, but you'll see a picture of it and of how it looked. And then I also, since the larger basket had big square holes, I went ahead and got the lining, drawer lining that they have, the non-slip kind that they have at the Dollar Tree that looks like wood, and I cut a piece of that out and put it in the large basket and also in the small one just to match, so it can match. And what I like about all of this is that I can wash it. Since it's going to be in my coffee area, you know, I wanted to be washable since I'm going to be using it with sugar and cream and stuff in there. Here I am cutting that section out of the basket so I can wrap it around and make it look like handles. And thank you guys for watching my video. If you like what you see, please subscribe and share. Help me grow my channel. As soon as I learn more about how to edit and make videos, I promise my videos and tutorials will be a lot better. But for now, I hope you enjoyed them, and you guys be blessed, and see you next time. I'm going to be posting twice a week, which will be Mondays and Sundays. So I'll see you guys soon. You guys take care and be blessed.